Hey everybody, welcome back. I've got some cards to sort here, a bunch of Dominaria. If you saw my other video, you'd see that I got this as a lot of 40 packs, not in a box, not sealed. The packs were sealed, but they weren't in a box or anything, on eBay. And I kind of wanted to make a short video while I was sorting some cards about how to, protect yourself, I guess, or just tips on how to, buy cards without getting completely taken. Or just, talk about, buying cards and how to, a couple little tips I've come across over the years on checking on the sellers and stuff to kind of minimize your risk with it. So one of the main things is, watch for feedback. Obviously, watch the feedback because feedback, if they have very low feedback scores, like obviously 1, you don't want to buy from them at all generally. But if they have a bad feedback, everybody that sells online pretty much has bad feedback. People are people. You can't please them all the time. So there's always going to be that one guy that you can go out of your way to try and help or do the right thing, and they're still going to bash you for it and not be happy. So a couple negative feedbacks is not a big thing, but very low feedback can generally be kind of rough. So you don't want to look for, you want to look for very low feedback and probably stray away from those. Let them get a few more sales. The other thing is go into the feedback and see if the feedback was from buying or selling. Because I'll see guys on there with hundreds of transactions and 100% feedback. But then when you actually go and read the feedback, you'll see that it's every single one of them was that person as a buyer, not as a seller. There was actually no seller feedbacks at all on them. So you got to watch out for that. Make sure that they're not, because a lot of people will go on there and they'll buy like hundreds of little 99-cent items, or they'll buy a bunch of cheap single cards from somebody and get a bunch of good feedback ratings. And so they'll have 100% feedback with 200 transactions, and you'll be like, oh, this must be a trusted seller. Make sure you go to the feedback and see if the feedback actually is from selling, not just from buying a bunch of stuff. So that's an important one to look for. So what happened with the Dominaria packs here that I believe is, it looks like it was kind of like a mass opening type of deal where they basically opened a bunch of boxes, and as soon as they got the big mythics out of the box, it looks like they just kind of took the extra packs for the rest of the box, because let's face it, once you hit the big money cards out of the box, there's really very unlikely that you're going to get more of those same mythics in the box. So if there's like a $30 card and a $50 card in a certain box from a certain set, and you're opening the box and you pop both of those cards in the first half of the box, there's really no reason to dig into the rest of the box if you're a reseller and that's all you're trying to do is get in there and get those big money cards and turn a quick buck. So what I believe happened with this 40 packs that I bought here was that's what they did. They opened a bunch of boxes and they pulled out as soon as they got like a Mox Amber out of the box, they just take the rest of the packs and toss them aside from that box and then start on a new box and try and get another Mox Amber. And they pull out those big money cards, and the rest of the packs that are very unlikely to have those cards, they'll sell them in a lot on eBay or on Amazon or wherever else. So most likely that's what happened with this box or this lot that I had bought, because but there was some good cards. There was some Gilded Lotuses and stuff like that. I think right here's there was some Helm of the Hunts and some Clifftrap Retreats. So there was some good stuff in there. A couple of Gilded Lotuses, a few of the lands, the dual lands. So there was some good stuff in there. Because they weren't search packs. They weren't resealed, I don't believe. I think it's just that that's what they did. They kind of searched the boxes. They they were looking for probably the Mox Amber and a couple of the other big money cards, and as soon as they pulled one or two of them out of the box, you know, the big money cards they were looking for, they just took the rest of the packs in the box and tossed them aside because the odds were pretty much against them that there would be another one in there. Now, there was a chance that there could have been two Mox Ambers in a single box. I mean, that's always a possibility. So, you know, they're not intentionally probably trying to rip people off or anything. It's just they got what they wanted out of the box, and they knew that the odds were very unlikely that they'd get more of what they wanted out of that same box. So they just moved on to a new box and, you know, sold the rest of the remaining packs. You know, it's a numbers game. You know, they played for the odds. So just be wary of stuff like that. If you know, if you find a big lot of packs like that that's not in a sealed box, you know, if you're looking to really get a bunch of value out of that box, or if you're on a budget and that's the only box you can get, you know, and you really want to try and get those big cards, you know, it's probably best to make sure you get sealed boxes. It's worth it to pay a little bit more, get them in a sealed box. I personally, you know, I need bulk. I sold my collection years ago, so I don't need, you know, I don't need to spend the extra money just to try and hit those one or two big money cards. I mean, they'd be nice, but I looked at it like it was worth the gamble. I think I saved probably like $30 when all was said and done, as opposed to buying a sealed box, buying this lot of 40 packs. So, you know, the price difference between getting that one good card and getting the extra 4 packs and all the extra bulk and stuff was worth the gamble for me. Yes, I would have liked to have gotten a Mox Amber and some of the other big cards in the set, but you know, it was worth it just for me to build up the bulk because I'm trying to rebuild my collection here, you know, and things, you know, I bought a lot of Magic cards here recently, so I don't have a whole lot of extra expendable money laying around to keep throwing at the game until I can start recouping a little bit of it. So, you know, I just kind of want to go over a few basic tips to help you guys protect yourselves when you're buying online, because there are shady people out there. There's a lot of shady people. I came across an auction that a guy was selling unopened boxes of Throne of Eldraine for like $22 a box. And of course, you know, I clicked the watch button because I knew that was going to explode. Sure enough, eBay pulled the listing pretty quick, and you know, the account disappeared and all that. So you know, there's shady people on there. There's people on there trying to rip you off. So be very wary. I always recommend buying at your local gaming store for several reasons. One is that, you know, if they go out of business, you're not going to have any place to play Friday Night Magic, and the whole point of this card game, in its absolute essence, is to have fun, to play a game. It's a game. I mean, because of the way the first sets were handled, it became an investment platform as well. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a game. You're supposed to have fun playing against your friends and stuff, and building these cool decks and coming up with awesome combos that just, you know, infuriate your opponent. Infuriate? Yeah, that word's not working for me right now. We'll come back to that later. Probably not. So it's all about having fun, you know. It's all about, it's a game, you know. So it is awesome that the cards do have value and that investors can actually, you know, get into this and make money over the long run. I'll have another video about more of the investment side of it. I do have an investing channel, and I do a lot as far as investing in the stock market and all that stuff, and that's actually how I ended up getting back into Magic. But that's a long story for another video. Anyways, just kind of, you know, it is a game, so it is, you do want to keep that local to where you can have a place to go play. I mean, that's important. If all the local gaming stores go out of business, this investment will crumble. I mean, if you know, new players can't get into the game because there's no local support, and there's no place for you to go play the booster drafts and the Friday Night Magic tournaments and stuff like that. If there's no place to do that, there's not going to be new players coming in. If there's no new players coming in, then the game will crumble. It'll go away. So that's one main reason to support your local gaming store. It's worth paying a couple extra dollars to buy the boxes from somebody who you know got it from a distributor and opened it up themselves and put it on the shelf, and most likely isn't going to try and screw you over, because if he screws you over, he loses his store. And his store is most likely his livelihood, or hers. Not trying to be sexist, just trying to be narrow it down a little. So anyway, the other big thing is, what people don't realize is they're like, oh, well, I got to pay tax if I buy it locally. Well, they don't realize that I saw the other day that it's pretty much, at least in the state of Florida where I'm at, they say about 63 cents of every dollar goes that you pay locally goes towards your own community as far as the tax dollars. Very little of it goes to the federal level. When you buy online, you're not paying those taxes. You're not putting money back into your community. If you don't put money back into your community, then guess what? You're going to have potholes in your streets. You're going to have very poor, infrastructure around your area. You're not going to have, nice street signs or red lights, so there'll be more car accidents. The bad roads will cause more accidents. That's going to take longer for you to get to work. Just a myriad of problems. Way too much to go into, but it's this kind of, it's kind of that butterfly effect. Not the incorrect version of the butterfly effect, like the movie there, which had nothing to do with the butterfly effect. But anyways, that was a paradox thing, not a butterfly effect. Sorry, one of those little things that aggravates me. But anyways, the real butterfly effect is, a tiny little effect, a tiny little thing. Every little, couple cents extra that goes into the local economy snowballs and keeps growing into something better. It's just how it works. The more you spend locally and the more local taxes you pay, the better your community's going to be. So if you're not just doing it because you got, like me, I've got several gaming stores in my area. So, one of them goes out of business, I still have a place to play. However, when you break it down, so say I got 4 gaming stores within reasonable amount of driving distance, right? If one of them goes out of business, that's 25% of the players in the area that are losing out, or 25% of our little niche here. So if 2 of them go out, that's 50%. That's a big hit. And if stores are closing, stores are going out of business because it's not working, it's probably not just because that one store was just, money hungry and trying to rip people off and stuff like that. It's probably just because people weren't buying at the gaming stores like they should, or because there was so many stores that, one of them couldn't keep up, or one of them was a little further away from the major metropolitan area or whatever. It's just, it probably wasn't anything that the particular store owner was doing wrong or anything. It's just, a circumstance. But if multiple stores go out, then, that's a big chunk you're taking out of the local gaming, group, the local gamers. There's going to be less gamers coming into the game because there's no place for them to play now. So I think it's really important to kind of support the local gaming stores, and buy local people you trust, people people that need you to keep coming back. So they're not going to try and screw you over like the people online are going to. Not that all people online are going to try and screw you over. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, that's more likely that when it's a faceless, just a couple digits online, it's more possible that they're gonna be out there to do something shady than your local guy who has to actually deal with you in person when you come back angry about something, you know. And he wants to keep you coming into his store because he's got a much smaller pool of customers and clientele to draw from than the online guys. You know, he can't just, you know, the local guys can't just screw people over and get away with it because everybody's going to find out, you know. So generally, your local gaming stores are going to be a lot more trustworthy than anything you're going to find online, especially when you're talking about places like eBay, you know, which are, I get 2 piles of the same card, you know, which are, you know, known for this. This is something that's been a problem for decades, you know. It's not something new, people on eBay trying to take advantage of people. It happens a lot, so it's not some kind of new thing that just started happening. So definitely, if you want to protect yourself, the best way you can protect yourself is go to a local gaming store and buy stuff. That's going to not only protect yourself as far as your purchases, but also protect your future and everybody else's future in this game. It's going to keep the game going. If you do have to buy online because there's not a local gaming store near you, which there's a lot of people that just don't live near a local gaming store, if you do have to buy online, you want to be real careful. You want to look for trusted sellers, people that have been doing it for a long time. Even, you know, I would much rather pay an extra $5 for a box of cards from a trusted person than save $5 on some seller that looks very shady and doesn't have a perfect feedback score, or they don't have any feedbacks as a seller or anything. I'd much rather spend a few dollars more and know that I can be more, you know, comfortable with the purchase. You know, I'm spending my hard-earned money on something that's not gonna be a total scam. You know, something I'm probably gonna get what I actually ordered. Sorry, I'm trying to do alphabetizing while I'm talking, and it's not working as well as I would hope. I know this video is probably going to go a little longer than I wanted it to, but I just kind of wanted to talk about stuff like this and really say, you know, buying from your local gaming store, if you have one, should always be the first choice. Even if you have to pay a little bit more, it's worth it in the long run. That money stays in your community. It helps everybody involved. That guy that owns that local store, he wants to keep you coming in the door. So he's probably going to go out of his way to make you happy when you do go in there. Now, that doesn't mean I think you should go in there and see, my alphabetizing went awry here. You shouldn't go in there and beat them up on price. I mean, they're not getting this stuff as cheap as the guys online are. They have to pay a lot more. Plus, they've got a lot more overhead than those online guys, you know? The online guy's probably just some dude sitting in his living room with a stack of boxes next to him, you know? The store's got rent and electricity and water and all these taxes they have to pay and all these business fees they have to pay just to operate every day, you know? So they don't have the extra expendable income or you know, they've got a lot more overhead than the online guys. So try not to beat them up over a couple bucks on a box or something. I mean, you know, you can't compare the local gaming store prices to the online prices. It's really it's really skewed, you know. There's a big difference between the two. The local gaming store is not trying to overcharge you, I can guarantee it. He wants to sell you the stuff as little as he can, but still keep the lights on and keep the doors open, you know. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, check the prices, and if he's way out of line, then try and get him more in line with other, on a local gaming store pricing basis, not on the internet pricing basis, though. So I'm running out of pockets here. I got too many sets that need to be sorted. I don't know what to do. I might have to just stack everything up. So yeah, just yeah. Pay attention to what you're doing. Try not to get ripped off. Try to watch out for counterfeit cards. If you're going for singles, counterfeit cards are a big problem these days. You know, the Chinese are making the counterfeits, and they're doing a really good job. So if you're not 100% confident in your ability to spot a real card as opposed to a counterfeit card just from a picture online, I would say pass on it unless they're a super trusted seller that you know. You know, somebody with a big reputation, you know, one of the big dogs out there, which, you know, take that with a grain of salt, but, so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over some stuff like that. Just you know, your best bet's always a local gaming store. If you don't have a local gaming store, just be very careful when you buy online. There's a lot of shady people out there. Watch the feedbacks. Watch you know, look at the product pictures really well. Read the item descriptions really well. A lot of them will show pictures of these you know, huge collections and real flashy stuff, and it looks all great. And then you read the description, they're like, oh, that's not actually what you're getting. You're getting something else. So be careful with that. That happens a lot. Like probably a good 95% of the listings I look at are not what the picture is, you know. So don't buy on picture. Don't make rash decisions and buy something right as the time's running out, you know. It's better to miss the deal and you'll look for the next one than to be rash and just jump on something because it looks like a great price without actually reading the description and without checking out the seller's feedback and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, the bigger stores, you get a little less worry about that if you're going to somebody's actual website that's a reputable dealer online. But when it comes to eBay, you know, make sure it's either a reputable dealer that you know has a that card's like thicker than all the other ones for some reason. I'm so easily distracted. Make sure they're either got a good reputation or you really check them out and vet the seller. Make sure you're getting the right thing. You don't want to get taken for your money. Money is you know, money takes time to get, and time is the one thing that you can't ever get back. So if you waste a bunch of time to earn some money and then you go and waste that money, you're literally just throwing little chunks of your life away that you'll never get back, you know? You can buy anything in the world you want except more time. You can't ever get more time. So use your time wisely, and if you're using that time to make money, make sure you use that money wisely and don't just give it away to somebody that's, you know, shady or trying to scam people online. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over a few things like that while I sorted out some cards. I appreciate you watching the video. I know I just ramble a lot and I get distracted easily, but these videos will get better as I get more used to this. I'm still really new at this channel here. So, but thanks guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.